How's how's screw tube? Okay. Okay. All right. So I got that done. Let's see if we got what is we here. Let me move that up so you guys.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Log Post Radio.
Hello. Welcome to the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. We are checking our connections. And how's everyone doing today? Been a while. Know that we have not been on for almost a week now. Been a while. Don't need that echo. Sorry about that. Don't need that echo. Hit that thumbs up button if you're on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are live. We are in the building. Now, the shirts that I told y'all about, they are basically on sale, $25. University of Black Power. Once you graduate from the university, you'll get the shirt. And it is the College of Self-Education. That shirt you can buy for $25. We're trying to get meet with our media people so that they could get all of our shirts for sale, our website up. Lawyer Henderson Show is doing big. Foolish American Politics, my new book. We're also going to come out with a pro se plaintiff, something for those people who wants to represent themselves in court. That book is coming, okay? And also we got a book on Hollywood. And then, of course, I'm doing a novel called Davion and Michaela, which is just a Black love series. So we got a lot of stuff coming here to the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. And let's always hit that thumbs up button. You are on live on Instagram. Don't forget to like the button, hit that live button or that like button on Instagram. All of my folks on Instagram, y'all come on in to the Lawyer Henderson's podcast show. Today is we're talking about what next for America and the future of the uncertainty on the Lawyer Henderson Show. 516-418-5867, 516-418-5867. That's the number to call in to the Lawyer Henderson Show, 516-418-5867. The topic of the day is what's next for America, the future of uncertainty, what is next for America, and why is Joe Biden, now that he's in office, why is he basically, and the Democrats, of course, as a whole, why are they focused on illegal immigrations instead of Black power? That's what we're going to be talking about today on the Lawyer Henderson Show. That's our main topic, but hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also, we're going to be shouting out legendary Tariq Nasheed. Now, of course, I was upset with Tariq weeks ago when he called Grandmaster Jay a scam artist, which I still doubt. But he's coming out with a documentary that is going to be very important called Butt Broken. Now, this documentary has some great legends in there, some great people of our time. They got the Wesley Muhammad in the documentary. You got Professor Smalls, and got our sister, our great attractive sister, of course, my favorite, Erica Lachey. So uh, that is the trailer. It has been extraordinary, and as you know, Tariq has done uh, the Hidden Color series. So can't wait to see what the Butt Broken documentary will be about. That's something I think is much needed because it shows our people as to why the coon does what he or she does. You see, the coon, as everybody know that white supremacy is the problem. Just we had old Negro Jim Clyburn. We've been telling him it's white supremacy, man. And now he's after that riot, and nobody came for him to protect him. People stole his laptop, and now that's when he wants to recognize that there's a serious problem with white supremacy. Those are what we call your too late Negroes. They showed up at the party too late, man. They don't understand the truth about what's going on in the United States. The white supremacists are all over here attacking us, and the bootlicking, butt dancing Negro, all he or she can do is just try to defend white society. The immigrants have that problem bad. They are over here to undermine us. But we're not going to get into that right now. We have to talk also about the legendary Hank Aaron's, who just died, of course, last week, I think it is. They're reporting that our brother Hank Aaron, people did the article on January 25th, 2021. Baseball legend Hank Aaron's cause of death revealed. Hank Aaron's cause of death has been revealed days after he died. The baseball legend and Hall of Famer died of natural causes. An investigator with the Fulton County Medical Examiner Office told People on Monday. Aaron died on Friday at the age of 83. Now, notice they try to put everything, Dr. Fauci and Bill Fakes, and they try to put everything on COVID so they can increase the publicity of their fake virus that they're unleashing on the people. Speaking of Bill Fakes, our brother, who basically on the Phil Scott show, the Afro diaspora, brought on the minister there, and he did a great interview about how Bill Gates have bought up all of these farms where you're growing the food and stuff of that nature, and how he is using certain types of things within the soil where they can probably cause a lot of things to our people and people in general. But go look at that video on Afro Diaspora to see that video. That is a great video to watch about how Bill Fakes and all of these genocide pursuers and mercenaries, such as Dr. Fauci, who's been at this since, as I told you, since 1984 with the AIDS epidemic and other things. They're all complicit with this. And it was the black media who now is no longer afraid to speak the truth. But we've been out here speaking truth to power for a long time, while the civil rights generation has been selling us out to these white supremacists. But the article for the People goes on to say, though, that a statement from the Atlanta Braves previously said that Aaron passed away peacefully in his sleep. So they already acknowledged from the medical examiner that he died of natural causes. But as you know, the media, the white media, they try to put COVID on everything to help sell the science community lies. Because as you know, the science community, no one, when they stop going to the hospital, They always have to bring out another disease, and then you have to bring out a lot of more medication. Then you have to sell your medication, and then you're forcing people to go and take vaccines and other things just to get people to go back into the industry, because this industry, the medical industry and the science industry, are corrupt. We have Dr. Frankenstein dealing with the medical industry, killing anybody they can to try to basically sell their propaganda. But they basically acknowledged that Hank Aaron passed away peacefully in his sleep of natural causes. You see, we have not heard people dying of natural causes in a while, have we? We've been hearing people dying over COVID this and COVID that, complication with COVID. They said the same thing with AIDS. You die with the complication of AIDS. That is what? Publicizing and advertising a virus. You understand? And they have to do that. They did that with Magic Johnson. Remember, to publicize Magic Johnson, they had to basically say he had HIV, and what that did was what it sold the black folks on that HIV and AIDS are real. The article on People goes on to say, though, that we are absolutely devastated by the passing of our beloved Hank. He was a beacon for our organization, first as a player, then with the player development, and always with our community efforts, Braves Chairman Terry McGorrick wrote in a statement. His incredible talent and resolve helped him achieve the highest accomplishments, yet he has never lost his simple nature. Henry Louis Aaron wasn't just our icon, but one of across a major league but one of across Major League Baseball and around the world. He added, his success on the diamond was matched only by his business accomplishments of the field, and capped by the extraordinary philanthropy efforts. They said, okay. Aaron was recently seen in public getting the first dose of corona vaccine. Here we go. And he encouraged Black Americans to do the same. I'll pass. Before being released to the public, vaccine makers went through large, lengthy clinical trials to ensure that their products were completely safe. Now, that is a lie. You see how the white media has always lied to us? They did not go to no long, lengthy clinical trials, typically like medicine does. They basically just pushed this out within a year, which is unheard of, which is unconventional. You understand? They basically didn't go to a long. What is the white media saying here? People magazine. These are Jewish people talking, by the way. Before being released to the public, vaccine makers went through large, lengthy clinical trials to ensure that their products is completely safe. Yeah, after killing a few people, after a white woman fainted on national television, after a black female doctor died, after another black female doctor got Bell's palsy, and you're talking about long, lengthy clinical trials. These companies should be sued, but see, they have been blocked. And we'll go and talk about it, though. On September the 8th, 9 of the leading vaccine makers, including Pfizer and Moderna, they should both be sued. Signs a pledge vowing to follow high ethical standards and not rush a vaccine into production before it proven to work. Now, Pfizer and Moderna, okay, a doctor already came out and said about what this vaccine was going to do. They already came out and said that these were not safe. But the white media here, as you see, people.com, basically trying to lie and say, oh, you black folks, y'all need to take this vaccine. And I'm going to get to this in a minute because, see, look, you got them wanting black folks to take this vaccine, and then you got Joe Biden, as I'm going to talk about later on, trying to get amnesty to illegal immigrants. You see what they're doing? They know that their numbers, they don't have the numbers, their numbers are crumbling. That's the reason why they want the white Hispanics who have basically have shown in track records that they have always went on the side of white supremacy, and they have identified themselves as white on their applications here. The article from whitemagazinepeople.com goes on to say, though, that I don't have any qualms about it all, feel quite proud of myself for doing something like this, he told the Associated Press at that time. It's just a small thing that can help zillions of people in this country, end quote. And then, of course, if you keep on reading, you'll know what the game is about, of course. And let's do that. I was proud to get the COVID-19 vaccine earlier today at Morehouse School of Medicine, he added on social media. I hope you do the same. Now, this is the problem. I've been telling people that older people are very vulnerable to this vaccine. Now, if you're young, you probably can take it. But these clowns said that you have to take 2 doses. Look, the average person who are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s won't be able to understand 1 dose. They won't be able to take 1 dose of this vaccine. But the article on People go on to write that since his death, figureheads such as Barack Obama, the top player here, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton, you always know he has to come on the game sometime, have taken to social media to celebrate Aaron's legacy. Hank Aaron was one of the best baseball players we've ever seen and one of the strongest people I ever met, Obama 59 wrote in a statement last week. Humble and hardworking, Hank was often overlooked until he started chasing Babe Ruth's home run record, at which point he began receiving death threats and racist letters. Letters he would reread decades later to remind himself not to be surprised or hurt, end quote. You see, and this is the thing, Babe Ruth was not really a legend. The white media they always have to hype up their so-called heroes and sheroes because their heroes is not really athletic. Okay, you get about one white boy or one white girl, somebody who dominates a majority of a white or sports, and the white media come out and hype them up. But then when you have a black person like Hank Aaron's did played in that same industry, that they get upset because that undermines them as being the true legend. They undermines this Babe Ruth. He wasn't the real legend here. It was Hank Aaron's here. He was the legend here. But the white media, they have to just prop up people who are not really athletic within white society. But the article goes on to write, though, those letters changed Hank, but they didn't stop him. After breaking the home run record, he became one of the first Black Americans to hold a senior management position in Major League Baseball. And for the rest of his life, he never missed an opportunity to lead, including earlier this month when Hank and Billy joined civil rights leaders and got COVID vaccine, Obama continued. In his own statement, Bush 74 wrote, Laura and I are saddened by the passing of Hank Aaron. The former home run king wasn't handed his throne. He grew up poor and faced racism as he worked to become one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Hank never let the hatred he faced consume him. Henry Louis Aaron was a joyful man, a loving husband and Billy, and proud father of 6 children who will deeply miss him, he continued. Laura and I send them our condolences and our thanks for sharing this great man with our country. Okay. Clinton, 74, wrote in a statement, that Bill Clinton and George Bush is the same age, which passing of Hank Aaron, baseball is lost in one of the greatest heroes. America has lost an inspiring role model and philanthropist, and have lost a wonderful friend. Hillary and I send our thoughts and prayers to Billy, their family, and the countless people who he touched by his bat, his caring gifts, and his friendship. Hank Aaron's entire life was a home run, Clinton added. During his baseball career, Aaron earned a nearly early title in the book, including the National League MVP in 1957, one-time world champion, two-time National League batting champion, three-time Golden Glove winner, for the time RBI champion, and four-time home run champion. His record representing the Braves at that All-Star game 25 times remained untouched to this day. Hank Aaron's was 83 years old. Five one six 418 5867 is the number to call in if you're looking and listening to our YouTube channel, also our national radio program on Blog Talk Radio. All right, so we talked about the two other things. We're going to get into our conversation today. We don't want to stay on alone as long as we have to, because of course I got some things to do today. I'm also not going to come on tomorrow, Thursday, but I will be on Sunday. Okay, and I'm going to upload for you hopefully by tomorrow or Friday the response video of our brother Kevin Samuels saying that a woman is average at best. He talks about how so many women get overvalued, or people think that women are overvalued as well, as far as what they have is, and he went off on, well, he didn't go off, but this girl Jessica called into his show and she wanted advice, and she had this 13-year-old son and stuff like that. And he basically told her, and she gave herself a 5. So she basically said that she's average. She admitted that she's average. But anyway, I got a video on that I'm going to upload to YouTube to try to get people to, to get my thoughts and opinions. And you can leave your comments as well. And that video will come on this week, come up or be uploaded this week. 516-418-5867. If you're on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up button. Like and subscribe, family. Go ahead, like and subscribe. So the topic of the day is what's next for America, the future of uncertainty. Why Joe Biden and the Democrats want more illegal immigrants than black economic power. That is what we're talking about on the Lawyer Henderson podcast. Hit that thumbs up button. Like, share, and subscribe, family. Like, share, and subscribe. The Lawyer Henderson show has basically now been on for almost about, I would say, 6 months. Okay. So we have not been on like, all these other YouTubers. And of course, they've been on longer than the Lawyer Henderson show. So just bear with us on some things here. But I want to talk, though. We've been telling you all, let's start with this. D.L. Hughley. Remember before Biden got into office? Let's start with this. Before Biden got to office, he was sitting down there on his radio show, and he said, well, you know why he can't make any promises to black folks? Because he's not the president yet. Okay, D.L. Coomeron. D.L. Coomeron goes on to say that, oh, yeah, Biden is not the president, so he can't make any promises. Oh, now that Biden is the president, now where is D.L. Coomeron? And today, I think I'm basically DL, like these older black people, they have been the civil rights generation. They have been pushing the Democratic Party for some times now. Okay, I'm not saying that the Republicans are any better, but they have been pushing for the Democrats, and the Democrats have always turned their back on our parents. The civil rights generation gets a little crumbs. They go behind closed doors and they make these deals like Al Sharpton do. And basically, they come back to the table, as Malcolm taught us, and say that this white man here is all right for us. And the civil rights generation have been playing that game, and they've been educating the same black folks like D.L. Hughley and all of these comedians like Ricky Smiley and all of them who basically they basically were the class clown. They didn't have they had a short attention span, and basically they were not they basically they were always joking in high school. They never took anything serious. They never took their homework serious. These are the people, of course, that was getting all of the TV shows when it comes to comedy. But when something real break out, when something that we have to deal with, like the murder of George Floyd and the murder of our sister Breonna Taylor, here these fools do not have any kind of sense. No one takes them serious when they say, this is happening in this community and blah, blah, blah. And after they basically talk about a story that really affects our community, they go back to clown. They have a short attention span. And it's just like these comedians, Steve Harvey, the same way. You had Steve Harvey got a call from Kamala Harris with all of the stuff that this woman has done to black men and women. And she calls him to get a birthday shout out. And next thing you know, he was sold on her on that. Then Kamala Harris called the Ricky Smiley show, and she didn't even have to say anything. He allowed her to deflect about what she's going to do for black folks, and then all of a sudden he said, "Oh yeah, y'all got to go vote for her. Remember that before she got elected, or they got elected as in office." So these black comedians, you cannot rely upon them to seriously talk about real issues. So I was very shocked that D.L. Hughley went out to Ice Cube and say, well, the Friday guy, he's the one that talked about this contract with Black America. Well, your short attention span, D.L., you got this radio program. And this radio program, you're not basically now saying anything about what Joe Biden is supposed to do. Joe Biden, in his 100 days in office, told you Negroes who voted for him what he was going to do. And that is everything for illegals, aliens, LGBT, gays, transsexual bathrooms. He is undermining us by bringing illegals. He wants to give amnesty to people who are not citizens of this country. Okay? Because as Tariq Nasheed and others, and as we keep pointing out, right, white folks don't have the numbers anymore. Okay? They don't have the numbers. By 2044, as I keep on trying to say, and others been saying, this country is going to be mostly ran by Hispanics and blacks, for the most part. We have struggled between Florida and Georgia. You got a lot of Hispanics in Florida. You got a lot of black folks in Georgia, which shook and turned not only the state of Georgia blue, but shift the White House to Kamala Harris and Jim Crow Joe Biden. And it was Jim Crow Joe Biden who came out and says that he basically want to thank the black community. And if you didn't vote for him, you're not black. He said all of those things along with the bootleg butt dancing Negroes who basically have been kissing his ass. And yet the man is in office. In fact, I got a note from the Democratic Party here pointing out that we see that you didn't vote in the primary. You damn right I did. But there was, and then I got letters, postcards. Can I find one right? Let me find one. I got postcards. Where's that postcard? I got I won't say thousand. I got about 10 or 15 postcards saying that, oh, lawyer, you are a super voter. We need you to go out there and vote for John Ossoff and Reverend Warnock. Huh? But black people delivered Reverend Warnock and they delivered Ossoff to the Senate and changed it blue. Now that you have Mitch McConnell, who is no longer the House Majority Leader, he is now the House Minority Leader. And the Democrats now are able to then do something for the black community. But Jim Crow Joe Biden got exclusive power, real exclusive power. Not only do he have a lot of executive orders that he can put in place, okay, unlike his unlike Obama, who didn't do a damn thing for us. Okay, Joe Biden has exclusive power to do everything he can for black folks. Not only, like I said, that he got these executive orders, he also got a Democratic Senate and a Democratic House. You cannot then, as black folks, allow this man to go for 4 damn years. For all of y'all who said that we should go out and vote for this son of a gun, you cannot allow this man to set his old, decrepit, racist ass in that seat for 4 years and allow him to ignore you and say that I'm going to give illegal immigration amnesty in this nation. That right there is the biggest, the most, the most diabolical, but fortunately for us, it shows you the personification of what the Democrats is all about anyway. It shows to you that they basically is not loyal to the black community. They have never been loyal to us. And so you got the civil rights generation who is educating black kids and going out voting for these folks, and they have not put one damn piece of any infrastructure or invest in our infrastructure in the black communities. They have not put money into our hands. They're not giving us our tangibles. They're not giving us our reparations. I'd be damned if black folks sat in office and allow this old hag 4 years of doing nothing for us. Yeah, we talked about Trump as a racist, and we talked about Trump ain't doing this. We got to get Trump out of office. Oh, we got to get Trump out of office. Oh, man, people are going crazy. You got white folks over there acting a fool. They up there took over the U.S. Capitol. We got to get them settled down here. And now you got Jim Crow Joe Biden in office now. Everything is fine. Everything is good now. Because old Jim Crow Joe Biden, of course, he's never discriminated against black folks. He's never said the N word while he was in as a politician in the Senate or the House of Representatives. He never said anything that was racist. He never worked with known segregationists. No. Not Jim Crow Joe Biden. It was that bad guy Trump. He was the person who was causing all kinds of things in the country that got everybody unrivaled and got everybody shook and everybody upset and everybody just mad and angry. And here this big kid, he is the one who is calling all the rackets, you see. This is the mentality of my people. And all the time, as Phil Scott from the African diaspora has questioned and asked. He asked the simple question that we all ask when we talked about in Black intellectual society. Why my people? Why is Black folks so afraid to challenge white supremacy? Why are we wanting to feel comfortable of just basically sitting down here knowing that white people owe us for 426 years of what we dealt with in slavery, what we deal with in Reconstruction, what we deal with and um, and Jim Crow era, what we deal with all of these legislations that was against us in the 1970s, that where you thought that Black people were basically going to then again move forward in an economic and build up a relationship when we didn't have that many Hispanics and Asians in the country at the time. Because see, we were just dealing with white folks at that point. And so in the 80s, we started to have these feminists coming out. Well, they were already out there in the 60s, but they started to basically undermine the Black family, pushing us away from each other. In the 90s, 80s, you start to see our Black marriages decline here. You start to see that our 81 or 82% of Black marriages reduced now to 42% as where it is today. So we're talking about the future of America. Now that you have Jim Crow Joe Biden in office, now that you have this man who said that he is going to bring us together. In fact, any white person who says that, you know that they're lying anyway, because the person who they do not bring to the table and they have never brought to the table and who should be brought to the table is Black folks, because we built the country. So when you're talking about building bridges, these folks do not talk about you as Black folks. They're talking about illegal immigrants. They're talking about LGBT. They're talking about white folks, white women. They're talking about gays. They're talking about transsexual bathrooms. The Democrats focus on everything else but Black folks. They talk about women. Yeah, we'll get some Black women, and what they'll do is they'll strengthen the numbers, and we'll say that we gave them some political power, and we'll push Simone Fat Mammy Sanders out there, and we'll tell them that, oh, this is that Black girl magic, that type of routine. And then when basically after they get finished using Black women, they push and toss Black women out to go back with her man who's been sitting there telling you, you cannot trust these people. Look at their history. The white supremacists have always lied to us, ever since slavery. Dr. John Henry Clark, he talked there about how nice the African was, how nice the Native American was to white people. Okay? See, our niceness is what's getting us in trouble. And then on top of that, our cowardice is what's also getting us to lose against the immigrants. You see, Black folks got to have power, have to have backbone. We have to challenge the white supremacists. We have to go to Jim Crow Joe Biden and ask him, well, wait a minute, how are you going to sign amnesty? Just like Obama did. This is Obama all over again with the Dreamers Act. He's basically has brought these people into this country who are not citizens and giving them benefits that we fought for as with our lives and our ancestors. This is what we've been talking about here. And then we have people like D.L. Foley out here talking about, well, he's not the president. Well, now the damn bastard is the president, and look what he's doing now. We told you that the Democrats are not for Black folks at all. We've been telling you about an independent party where we remove ourselves away from the Democrats. They have become a deadly disease to us. And that's not to say that the Republicans are any better. But if you look at Trump's record, he didn't start any wars. Okay, and basically there was some issues where they said that he tried to put a lot of black folks to send him back at almost at the end of his last hours. But I mean, let's look at the also that he basically gave pardon to Little Wayne, gave pardon to Kodak Black, gave pardon to Coane Kirkpatrick, former mayor of Detroit. So if this man was this bad, why did he have black folks in his inner circle? If he was just this bad, you cannot, as black folks who are talking about Jim Crow Joe Biden, you cannot even get a phone call back from this man. You see, we've been trying to tell black folks that the Democrats do things away from you. Remember when Hillary Clinton was on stage? I mean, was talking about when she was running for president. Remember, she was on stage talking to black folks. Uh, Next question over here. Oh yes, I do. I do have hot sauce that I carry in my purse, so I'm black, or at least I act black. You see, and she sat down with Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy and our sister, Angela Lee, and they were on the Breakfast Club, and she sat there talking about I carry hot sauce in my purse. See, they don't go to the real black media. They don't. They go to people who they know, like these comedians and other people who have been put into these positions as hosts because they don't ask the tough questions. They won't come to the new voices of black media because we're going to basically take them to task. That's the reason why you have the white media. The white media always bring on these bootlicking, butt dancing Negroes who have sold out just because they want a book deal. You see, they do not bring these people on when we're talking about reality. That's the reason why the American media, of course, have lost millions of its viewers. By the way, that's the reason why they're on YouTube. They have to go to other situations and places because the white elite tells them, okay, well, nobody is looking at our the TV no more. They're not looking at the data. No matter how much we're lying to the advertisers, they're just not getting their products brought. And the advertisers know this, but they still do what? They'll still invest to the white media because it's all about what? Trying to find some way to maintain white supremacy. And you do that by doing the same thing, thinking that things are going to change. And that's the only game plan that they have. You see, the civil rights generation, they basically had fallen into all of white supremacy's traps. Our parents basically were very naive in trying to sit down with these civil rights, the Democrats, and say, okay, well, what are you going to give us as far as our exchange for the vote? And then you have the younger black generation said, no, you got to promise us something or we're not going to the polls. Okay? And then we're flipping over police cars after every black person got shot and killed and burning down police stations. That's a threat to white supremacy. You understand? Meanwhile, you had the other civil rights generation talking about now, y'all stop now. See, y'all up there acting a fool and stuff like that now. Y'all gonna have to be very civilized. And all you have to do now is go out there and vote. well, well, look at what happened to the Capitol. Is the white supremacists, is they acting civilized? Hell no. You had to have military staff come there to guard that place on inauguration day because you had so many people upset that they think that Joe Biden is not supposed to be president. And I don't blame them on that. I believe he stole the election. Nobody supported this man. Nobody supported this man, but they came out and said, "Oh, black folks finally did this. Black folks did that." And you saw the game that was played. You saw the game that they had to hurry up and shift their decision from from uh, from Trump over to Biden at the last minute, and then say, "Okay, everybody's supporting Biden." Well, where is his support when it came to the inauguration? What, the U.S. military, who had to stand guard, was that his support system? You see, the ideal here is that Jim Crow Joe Biden is unpopular. He's going to be an unpopular president. But basically, he, though, unlike Obama, still have an opportunity to change his legacy. When we seen that Lyndon B. Johnson and all the others before them, when they talked about the civil rights movement, when Lyndon B. Johnson brought Dr. King and others into the Oval Office to talk about or pass the civil rights legislation, you understand? Lyndon B. Johnson left a legacy of passing that landmark decision. And then you did get to Clinton. Black folks thought that Clinton did something for us. And then you left and abandoned Clinton and said Obama was the prize. And now Obama didn't do a damn thing for you. Now we got people like D.L. Hughley saying, well, let's wait and see what Jim Crow Joe Biden going to do. Well, how much weight are we going to have to keep on damn doing? As Tupac said back in the 1990s, we're getting sick and tired of asking. We've been asking ever since the civil rights movement. And Jim Crow Joe Biden, he basically is not returning the phone calls of these black flunkies. And Kamala Harris, his vice president, there's not that much women support. You would have thought that women would have just jumped for joy to see that they have a female as the vice president. She's in the second office of this nation. And women were like, oh man, forget that bitch. You're like, wait a minute. You see? And you have to understand though, it was not about what women wanted. Okay? It was not that this was very historical to put a woman in office as the vice president. This was about what the white elitists wanted at a time where they were going to give Donald Trump a second term. But when they started to see that people were waking up and was not afraid of police, they said, oh no, we got to put a soft core white supremacist in office here. And Jim Crow Joe Biden, though, is not, by the way, a soft core white supremacist. Moreover, though, that he is a person who will trick you a great deal. I mean, he's very skillful. One thing about the slave master's children, remember, the white supremacist slave masters, they basically was blatant racists because they didn't have the skills that their children have now or their grandchildren have. So they would just actually go out there and just shoot and kill Negroes. Like, nigger, get off my lawn. Bow, you know. But now their grandchildren, their children and their grandchildren, they're very skillful. We're not going to just shoot and kill the niggers. We'll say that you need this vaccine. We'll say that you got AIDS. We'll say that you got H1N1. We'll say that there's a new SARS outbreak. You see, this is why it's very important to have an information age. I mean, to understand the information age. The information age of understanding what white supremacy is up to is to educate yourself in what they basically have always done, and that is complete genocide. They have always found ways. You niggers, y'all need to wear condoms. Y'all don't need to be out here having sex and making babies. What are they trying to do at that point? Create a form of genocide. Genocide. Y'all women, black women, y'all don't need to have these babies. Come over here to Planned Parenthood. And you got 48 million aborted babies. What? A form of genocide. You understand? Now you have a situation where, well, a lot of women are not aborting their babies no more. Got a lot of black men who still don't want to use condoms. So what is next? Oh, I'll tell you what's next. Well, we got this vaccine for these niggas. But what about reparation? You niggas ain't gonna need to reparations once I kill you off, you know. You see, a form of genocide. They've always planned because their numbers are what? Dwindling. You see, white people were only supposed to be on our earth. They are basically visitors on earth for only until till year end 6,000. Year end 6,000. Of course, we all gonna be gone though, but you ain't gonna have no white people hardly on earth at all. Their numbers are gone. It's dwindling. They are now less than they used to be 10%. They have now, according to if I'm not wrong or mistaken, experts have said that they're now actually 9% of the world population now. You see? And by year 2060, they will be at what? 7%. You understand? They are declining like never before. Okay? But you cannot applaud, as Amos Wilson taught us, the Asians, because the Asians might come on to be what? More vicious. Amos Wilson argued that the Asians might be a little bit more tougher than the Europeans. You understand? That's the reason why you cannot talk about a black and brown coalition. It's too early to talk about a black and brown coalition because we've seen the history of those coalitions. We've seen, of course, that people have turned their back on black folks. The history tells us this. It's not something that we're making up. Why is Jim Crow Joe Biden giving amnesty to illegal immigrants? What is his purpose? What is his point? He never ever told you his points of why he's doing that. We're talking about a future of America. The future of America where basically they're trying to set up a international tribunal where it's going to be whites, Hispanics, and a little bit of Asians controlling the government. And these black folks, we're gonna be put back into like we are now, a segmented and a exclusive. I mean, we're gonna be excluded to plantations again. Because we have basically every time it's time for us to talk about something serious, you got nigga out there talking about let's do, all trying to dance, and you got females out there twerking and all of that stuff. Wrong place at the wrong time. We're talking about numbers that they're trying to reduce our population as black folks. They're basically upset because we hold in our bodies the melon that basically keep us to also deal with sunlight that they cannot do. That the reason why the Native Americans they failed in building this country because they could not stand the sunlight that our bodies are built for. The melanin that basically blocks the sun, trying to give us a tan or some type of burn or something like that. So the fight for the melanin is what they're up against. They're upset about that. You niggers, how are y'all born with these melons? Okay. I did a commentary, of course, on Kanika Jenkins. Remember, I told y'all about the they did her arms like this, right? That's because they had the medical examiner punctured a hole right there and got her thymus gland. See, they don't want to tell you the medical examiner helped killed her because they took out the thymus gland that basically protects and block you from getting certain types of colds. You see, we have to be able to understand what the white supremacists are up to. That's the reason why going to the hospital and getting these checkups and things of that nature, you think that you're taking care of your body and what you're thinking you're doing. But some doctors are going to keep on looking and say, well, this nigga think he's sick. He keep on coming to my office. Evidently, he must be. And evidently, he must think he's sick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this Negro on this medication, that medication, and I'm going to take him off that medication, put him on a different medication, and before you know it, he or she gonna die in their sleep. You see, the form of genocide. The future of America is based upon us understanding everything right now in an information age. We move away from the information age to then now challenge white supremacy because we now understand what they're up to. That's the reason why the younger generation has to be educated by us. Meanwhile, we have the civil rights generation, which not all of them, but I would say most of them have given up on the fight against white supremacy. They have given up on the fight. And that's a problem. They just want their Social Security check. Hey, you'll get my Social Security check coming on Monday? All right, all right. And they just want to just lay down and go to sleep, and that's it. No. So you hand your children, not only did you hand your kids debt and a college degree that they can't use, you gave them away to the white supremacists, and you don't know what now to do with them. That's the reason why they're talking back to you. You don't have no plans. You didn't set no goals for your kids. You had basically a long time to teach them everything of knowledge and information in an information age, and they said, "Well, damn, my parents wasn't worth shit. Now I got to go out here and figure out all of this and all of that." And they're making the same mistakes, and then they're going to make those mistakes, and their kids might make those mistakes. Thank God for us and where? In the new voices of Black media. Because we are now in control of educating your kids. You need to give them to us because y'all in the Black community who basically don't understand what's going on, y'all don't have no kind of goals for them. So it is our job to educate your kids because you have failed in that area. So now is our time. We're taking your kids away from you and we're basically intellectualizing them. We're basically going to then uplift their mentality. We're going to tell them about the information age and what white supremacy is all about. That's our job now because you, as Black parents, most of y'all have failed in that area. Most of you have failed. And so, therefore, you got these immigrants coming in here and they're becoming the people who basically we would think that we want to have a relationship with them, but they're coming over here basically to try to align themselves with the white supremacists to undermine us. See, they don't want to build no coalition with Black folks. You have the Ethiopians right now who has a whole sector here in Georgia where they don't even fool with Black people. Okay? They basically have what? Bought into the divide and conquer routine of white supremacy. And then when you talk there about speaking of them, remember during Reconstruction, white people liked the Ethiopians because they thought that they were basically more intelligent than the regular Black folks that were on the plantation or are doing carpentry and doing a lot of other skillful work. They had the Ethiopians doing most of that work because they thought that just because of their appearance, that they were more educated than the average Black person. You understand? So you had a lot of skilled workers at that time. And so, therefore, you look at the Ethiopians today, they still the same way. They still think that they basically are better than black folks. You're like, wait, no, you're on the system of white supremacy. You see? And then you got some Negroes talking about, I'm mad, I'm just going to leave America. And go where? Dumbass, white supremacy is global. You know, you can't escape it. You know, that's just like you're giving up here and going and doing the same thing in another country. And basically, you're not gonna you're not gonna get far. Ask those two lesbian girls from Maui. They basically sat there and told the people in the country in India how they make their money online, and the native got upset, and now the government has kicked them out of the country. Okay, how dare you niggers come over here to our country and basically do better than us? But see, they can talk about us going in their shithole country, but they come over here and get amnesty. This is what we're talking about. And I'm so mad I can spit. You got Jim Crow Joe Biden out there giving amnesty to people. I mean, and if you go to their countries, they're not going to welcome you there. They're going to keep on saying, oh, you niggers, y'all coming over here and y'all taking our women and all this old stuff. See, what we're saying is that you got to understand how people act towards us in other countries. But see, black people, specifically black men, have not challenged white men in a way that we should be. We have became, as I told you in commentary, an assistant. And that got to stop. White people owe us 400 years. And they know that black folks are not going to be serious about, you're going out there flipping over police cars and stuff like that. And now what is next? Oh, well, just going to go back to my job. Like, damn, nigga. So what was all of this energy about going out there rallying and protest and knocking down the CNN building for? What was that all about? Well, see, yeah, shit. Well, we're gonna give them one more chance. Like you keep giving them a lot of chances. You got to understand here something, ladies and gentlemen, that it is important for us to get back on with the truth here. The When Trump was in office, he talked about Black Americans were hurt mostly by illegal immigrants or immigration. Okay, and in his article, he said that, and of course he's no longer president, but this is before he left office. He said, according to the fact check by Breitbart News, Trump is correct as analysts, though decades shows that it is minorities in the United States that suffer most from downward pressure of jobs, wages, and the communities caused by illegal immigration. Center of Immigration Studies Director of Research Stephen Camarata 2008 testimony before the U.S. Civil Rights Commission revealed that immigration hurt specifically poor and working class African American men the most. That's the reason why a lot of black men were supporting Trump. Here's the man who started no wars with nobody and basically was favored towards certain types of black men. But he also told some truth about these illegal immigrants. And the Democrats was like, no, we don't want that. We want to bring these immigrants over here so that they could basically take the jobs from you. The article goes on to say that a 1995 study by Augustine Kaposwa concluded that non-whites appears to lose jobs to immigrants and their earnings are depressed by immigrants. A 1998 study of the New York area by Howard and Mahler found that 10% point increase in the immigrant share of occupation reduced wages of Black men about 5 percentage points. Given the large immigrant share of the occupations they study, this implies a significant impact on native-born Blacks. You understand? In other words, we basically have allowed immigrants to eat off of us, and they're still doing the same thing. And what is Jim Crow Joe Biden is doing? He is still doing the same thing. The Democrats are still doing the same thing. They're still talking about giving amnesty to people who are not even citizens, who came over here and who did not, basically do or even went through the right process. That's the reason why we're upset. Now, we understand the white supremacy exists, of course. But what we're saying is that we are the ones as Black folks who should be getting government contracts. We should be getting any kind of repertorial payments that are owed to us. Now, people might say, well, it was legal. That's not the point. The point is, I would say, is that it was basically wrong. The police department have policies, but as one person said, one brilliant guy said, that just because it's your policy does not mean it's right. Just because it's the law does not mean it's right. You understand? So we're not going to play that game. We're talking about these illegal immigrants who come over here to our country and they get all kinds of incentives that foundational Black Americans work very hard for. Our sister Yvette Cornell, when she was on ABC News, she broke this down. And we are upset and we are mad as hell that Jim Crow Joe Biden is still giving and wanting to give amnesty and is talking about everybody else besides us. When this country basically gets destroyed, it's going to be destroyed by groups. Just like you seen at that Capitol, you seen groups of white men and women acting a damn fool. They're the ones who are going to destroy this country. And if you look at the ideal that it wasn't just you would think that it was your snagger-tooth type white men and women who shot and killed Ahmaud Arbery, those type of white men. No, but these were white men who were CEOs of major corporations, who were state legislatures, coming acting a fool. Remember, I did that commentary on that white dude who came. This fool had his work badge on. He didn't even go home and take his damn uniform off. He came straight to the Capitol. And his boss seen his dumb ass on TV acting a fool. You see, the future of America is to then, overwhelm us with all of these immigrants, with all of these non-Black folks, so they can undermine us, so they can basically keep us in a segmented labor market, so they can basically make sure that they can have a relationship with white daddy or white mommy. And so they'll be able to basically, I guess, have some type of relationship, and that relationship is going to undermine us. They're here to undermine us. And illegal immigration is a problem, and Trump said it. And so when Jim Crow Joe Biden came along, it was like, bam. I was upset. I was hurt that man won. All right, Tanaka, you're only going to have 5 minutes today. Go ahead.
5 minutes, man. I gave
That's
a
5 minutes,
contribution
yeah,
last
because I can't have you hold up a show. But what's up? What's going on?
Well, you're absolutely right.
Mhm.
Where's the protest of Joe Biden giving amnesty to 11 million members? Some people say it's 30 illegals that's in the United States. You got caravans about to work their way through.
Mhm.
First day he comes in, he does away with about 11.8 million jobs, according to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, as it applies to the Exxon. Well, not that. Well, if he does away with fracking, it would. And I heard Susan Rice said that his plan is to create 6 million jobs, but we just gave you the circumstances where he's done away with twice that many, as much as 3 times that many, with just one industry, and that's the oil industry.
Hmm.
He's talking about, some politicians talk about defunding the Pentagon, but that's ridiculous because you have a lot of black STEM graduates that's working for defense contractors by the hundreds.
Mhm.
Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, Boeing, and others. I hear people talk about that Joe Biden is supposed to answer the question on social justice as it applies to the police, but the White House has no control over local police. Those powers are given by each individual state to the municipalities. So I don't know what your solution is, but I'll tell you one thing, looking at what people are thinking that they're going to receive in exchange for carrying out a behavior in the form of voting for Joe Biden, who I consider illegitimate, but this thing and others do too.
Well, what do you think,
Joe?
What do you think that Joe Biden is going to do as far as for black folks? Do you think that he's going to do something for us or no?
He's not going to do anything specifically for black folks. He can't do anything specifically.
And explain why he can't specifically.
All right, blacks, I'm going to do this for nothing but blacks. Well, that's impossible. You hear blacks talking about starting a town, buying land, and starting a town. Well, you can't keep others out of that town. If Mid-Easterners want to come in and build gasoline stations, unless you don't let them build, then they take it to court. But they got the heads up on that operation now. So they're probably controlled in that black town. That's the way it is. You hear blacks talk about coming together and so we can build a store. Well, see, that's for one individual who's going to profit off of that. Think about it. He wants blacks to put money together so that he, maybe a company can build a store. All right?
Yeah.
Then they want blacks to shop from it. Then they're going to be selling the same thing that the blacks are already buying from the white stores. But guess what? It's going to be more expensive because he just has one store and these other conglomerates got several stores where they buy stuff in greater quantities. Therefore, they get a better cost. So for blacks to shop in this person's store, they're going to have to pay more. And I don't think they're going to do that. Then you're going to be subjected to other costs like shoplifting. Think about it.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Shoplifting going on. What do? They raise prices in order to cover those items that walked out past the cash register. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay. But here's the thing, though. I hear what you're saying, but we do have Mexicans who have their own little, shops. Asians, of course, got their own shops here in the country. So, what is the problem with black people having their own shops?
There's no problem with them. They can have their own shop.
Well, okay, but isn't that what we're talking about when we talk there about tangible?
It gets down to this: are you going to be able to operate that shop efficiently? Where you going to get the goods? See, Asians manufacture things and produce the things that they put on their shelves. Whites do the same thing. Blacks want to have these separate entities.
No, that's not true. What we want is a no. Hold on. Okay, let's go back. Wait. Let's go back here. Okay, you said that blacks want to have a. Hold on. Wait. Hey, hold on. Let me ask you a question here, because you said something I need to go back to. Okay, you said that blacks want their own entity. Okay, so are you saying that the Chinese and Mexican is not running their own places that they open up when they come together with in a small like store that might have like 5 or 6 stores? I mean, are you basically saying that we shouldn't do that?
No, I'm not saying Mexicans come from a culture where that's commonplace. Asians do too. Blacks are United States citizens. They American. They don't consider themselves. So here's the thing. Like the Patels, the Indians that own about 28 billion in hotels across the country.
Mm-hmm.
That's a family. For blacks, blacks are descendants, if you was native black. Now, you can't say black, you gotta say native black, the ones that's born here.
Right.
They descendants
Native
of
blacks.
people that came from everywhere. Right?
Right.
They came from everywhere. You hear stories of the plantation owners want to separate the slaves so they couldn't be speaking their language to each other. How the hell he know what they were speaking? He couldn't speak the language. They were probably already speaking different languages. I don't know. To get technical about it. So no, if a person, that's that old scheme that put your money together so I can do this, I can do that. If you're going to do something like that, find a group of people that thinks like you, and that's what y'all do. I'm putting no call out to the entire black community, black society, to put y'all money together so I can start a store. That's just going to create a black person who's going to be rich.
So what?
Them to stop their habit of buying elsewhere.
So what should we? But what should we do though? But
they
what?
From you the same thing they were buying from everybody else, but they're gonna be paying more.
All right, but let me ask you a question though. So what should we do in order to build our economic system? What should we do? Are you saying that?
Send your children to school.
No, we tried that. That's what the civil rights generation told us. We tried that. We tried sending our kids to school. What is that doing for us economically? What is that doing for us economically is what I'm asking.
Because it makes you have a higher household income.
Based upon trying to
put your kids to school, and you can start recreating generations of functional families.
Oh wow. Based upon going to school. You have a lot of educated black folks out here who's not basically, they don't know where to turn because these jobs are not there. Where are the jobs when you get out of school?
You have about 1% of your degree blacks have PhDs. When you look at the STEM field, you go way lacking from your percentage of the population. Even if you was half, I mean, you got like 5% in engineers, medical doctors, about 4%. And see, they count immigrant blacks too, but you got to separate them from the count. So you have to have people that can produce what? The education that you have, the skills that you have, allow you to produce. You can give people money. You can give them $300,000, $500,000, not learning how to produce with that, it's just going to sooner or later go away.
Okay.
Hey, what percentage of black athletes in the NBA and NFL go broke after a period of time?
I don't
learn how to make money produce.
Right.
Or go back to work. See if they had a degree when they was in college playing the sport. Then after they get through playing it professional, they can fall back on that degree, and that will provide an income. But if you got to live off the money you made playing a professional sport, sooner or later it go away. Same thing with reparations. You $500,000. It really don't make no sense to do that, because if you say that these people spend every dime they get on Friday, where it's right back to work on Monday, that means that the people that they got the money from got it all back again. So if they're getting it back at that rate, why would they give them more?
Okay. Well, that's a good point. All right, but we have to leave it there. Okay.
Yeah, educate your children.
Huh?
Educate your children and put them in place of these foreigners,
Mm-hmm.
like Trump said, and that's your start.
All right.
Complain when Biden comes up with ideas about doing away with energy fields and oil. You should be raising all kind of hell over that, filing lawsuits and everything else. But he let them Democrats do what the hell they say they're going to do. It hurts you.
Well, the Democrats are the new white elitists that basically will do anything they want to because there's not enough people challenging them right now. And they're going to do whatever they want. So when we get a lot of people who challenge them.
Not when Trump came up with ideas, Congress beat him on the head. Then he had to get permission.
Well, he didn't have enough. He didn't have enough support. Okay, he didn't have enough support.
They should do the same thing with Joe Biden.
Well, Joe Biden has a lot of support. He has Bill Gates of the world. He has the Dr. Fauci's and other people. He has the support. That's the reason why he's getting away with it.
Well, you still can complain because it hurts you economically.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, you're going to give illegal citizenship, and at the same time, you're going to do something to the industry that's going to create millions of unemployed. That don't make sense. So anyway, I'll let you get back to your program.
All right, thank you for calling in, man.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, so the question though is that, you know, what is Biden's plan? Biden basically created not created, but he's going to create a problem for black people in this country. See, and here's the thing. This is what our parents been falling for. This is what our parents been falling for. You had the mainstream white media basically saying, okay, we'll put him in office. It's good that he's in office. Now, we'll basically we'll support this man on everything he do. This is the undermining. This is the game. This is how they play the game. So we got to, especially the younger black people, have to be very smart. And this is what they've been doing ever since slavery. It's always a different type of strategy that they got for us to undermine black people. It is always a different strategy. And then to have the Democrats who claim that we supported them to do the same thing that they've always done. So what they're saying is, okay, yeah, black folks basically got Democrats in office, got Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in office. But yeah, now the illegal immigrants said, well, we also voted for Joe Biden. You have this one Latino woman now that basically she was holding a sign and she was out there saying, "Oh, Latinos for by Ossaw uh, um, and Reverend Warnock." Huh? All of a sudden, y'all were on board to get Warnock and Offsaw here in Georgia elected? Where is your you don't have a lot of Latinos that can change the state of Georgia blue here in this country, the state. You see, they thought Florida was going to do it, but no, it was Georgia. It was a lot of black folks here that got Ossaw and got Warnock elected. But you had the Latinos out there talking about we up there we're supporting to help change and get these two elected. See, they have basically they knew that the force but that Trump had or was dwindling on. Then they come running on a bandwagon with us. When Trump numbers start to dwindle, everybody start to lose his support, and that's the problem. We have to look at that. That's why I told you that the uh, Hispanics have never ever been loyal to one particular political party. We should know that, and we should understand that. They want to all of a sudden say that they the one that helped to get Ossoff and Warnock in office to change it back blue, to change the state of Georgia blue. Nah, those black folks who did that. So now we're dealing, ladies and gentlemen, with a future of uncertainty. And the reason why we're dealing with a future of uncertainty is because the ideal here is that you got to question the fact as to why Kamala Harris is the vice president here. You have to question the fact that why white women mostly voted for Trump. You understand? And women in general who are not out here celebrating Kamala Harris vice president victory here. Very, very, very important. And this is historic. Typically, when something happened historic, people are basically all over. Like when Obama won, that was historic. Everybody was like, man, everybody was celebrating. Everybody was just happy. They were out here excited. They were dancing. They went out partying and things of that nature because that was historic. But no celebration for Kamala Harris being your first woman vice president of this country. No celebration from white women. No celebration from black women. No celebration for other people. Only people who are really celebrating this is Indian Americans. But they're doing so quietly because they know that Kamala Harris don't like black people. They look at her record and see she's put black folks in jail. They not understand that. That's the reason why then the future of this country is to then now have us overwhelmed with illegal immigration. That's the problem. And now we have to watch ourselves as black people because they're going to continue to do this. And this is Joe Biden's strategy because white people are becoming a minority in their country by 2044. So the ideal is to get other people to help in our oppression as black folks. This is the game that they were playing. Lawyer Henderson's show was live. Thanks for listening.